What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to be looking at the Unique Toys Lashlayer, their version of a Blastoff. Now they're being really creative with the names here. You know, they've got, I think it was called Broodlord Lashlayer was the original name that they were showing on the retail sites. And then it just says Lashlayer now, but man, all of these guys have really weird names. You know, Ragnaros for the whole thing. You've got Gazranka and all these weird names. So it's interesting that they're doing that. But this is definitely Blastoff. So let's get him out of the package and take a look. Oh, on the package itself, got some shots of him in vehicle, arm, and combined mode. Here you've got the more product shots, animation, and then robot mode, and that's it. So let's get him out of here and take a look at the pack. So you've got the gun, you've got the other alternate hand. We have two hands now. We're going to review at the end of this review. And you've got the instruction and the alternate chest, which is interesting. So we'll get that out of the way. And you've got the collector's card. I do like these collector's cards, and they're all kind of cool. It's weird that they did, some of them are actually the robots themselves. I mean, it's sort of half, the robot itself, sort of half an animation, but they're cool little cards. And then you got the instructions, just the same as all the rest. They all kind of stink, to be honest. They're not good instructions for any of them. But these guys are they're very easy to transform. It's very intuitive. You know, pretty much all the transformations are intuitive. So I wouldn't be surprised if I don't really need these. Honestly, on the last one, on their version of Vortex, it was pretty easy to transform. I didn't have a lot of issues. So here are the instructions. It does show parts deposit. So I guess you take off his wings from here and put it on this, and this becomes, can be a chest for Bruticus if you want it. Optionally, you don't have to. So that's really it for the instructions. And here we have the figure. First impressions, he's kind of dark. I mean, in terms of all of his colors, they're just all very dark. Yes, this does come out. So these do come out, which is a pretty cool little thought there. And I guess you fold it and attach it, and that's going to be a chest piece for Ragnaros. Just it's going to go something like that. We're going to take a look at this guy in a minute, or at least together, to see how they look together. But here he is. I think it's a pretty good looking Blastoff, to be honest. Let's get an image of the G1 figure up in the top, or the G1 cartoon. And honestly, I think all of these have a very consistent theme. You know, they all look very like they're a set that goes together. They have good colors. The colors are a little dark compared to the actual cartoon. But in terms of overall, I think it matches the cartoon pretty well. You know, it's pretty dark in the original. Now, there's some slight differences and some details they've added to make it look a little cooler. But I like the fact that they added those details. I think it looks better with those details. You know, the molded details on the plastic. But overall, very nice, very clean figure. Back just had a little bit of backpack. It's not too bad. But I think it's well done. They probably could have made this removable instead of making you take this. Maybe they just didn't like the way this looked, but I figured this could be an alternate, you know, piece. It's actually almost the exact same size. So I guess, oh, does it go on here? No, it doesn't. So I don't really know what this is. They really could have just made this the part. They didn't need to make a separate one. Maybe they want to make it a little bit better looking, but I feel like that was kind of a waste of, you know, some plastic. They could have just made that fit the part. But here he is. I really like the look of him. I think let's see if yep, he's got his heel spurs out. Oh, this one's not out, so let's fix it. There we go. Pretty awesome looking guy here. Now here he is with his gun. It's more like a cannon. It's kind of like a Megatron styled cannon. Let's see if this one fits. And on the last review, the cannon did not fit well in the hand, and it was very disappointing. It didn't fit well in robot mode or vehicle mode. This one looks like it's going to be tight and nice like all the other ones were. Come on. This one's really tight. Tolerances on these are not good. Honestly, they've been like all over the board. This one's really tight. There you go. So no problem in terms of being able to hold his gun, but it is really, really tight. There you go. So pretty posable, pretty good looking with his weapon. I think they've done an outstanding job on these. I love the clear plastic down here. It just looks really cool. I don't know why they included that, but maybe because it goes on the robot, or in the combined mode. But overall, very nice looking figure. I think they've done a good job. Sorry, just trying to see that foot. You know, it does have a heel spur, but it doesn't. I guess the whole thing kind of tilts. So you can tilt the heels, you can tilt the feet, and get a really good pose out of this guy. All around, he looks pretty good. Definitely needs a Decepticon logo somewhere, probably right here. I've got Decepticon logos on the other guys. So let's bring in Onslaught here. It's a very well matched set. All the colors look really good together. They just kind of look like a cohesive set. Now I'd like to put a Decepticon logo, but I'm running out of the right size, so this one's going to have to get a small one. That's okay. I'm going to get the full-size white backed logos soon and replace them all. But right now that's what I have, so it's probably going to get that. But all around, I really like the look of this guy. Let's take a look at articulation now. So his head is on a rotating swivel, and that's good for me. I like that in terms of the head. Now this doesn't really sit down, like it doesn't tab in, but it's fine. You do have full rotation on the elbow. You have these elbow pads kind of rotate out of the way, so you can get the arm, wow, all the way up to there. So plenty of rotation there, plenty of articulation. Full double jointed elbow, although the gun gets in the way. So if you take the gun out, let's take the gun out for this part. So you do have a full double jointed elbow. You do have a rotation at the wrist, although it puts a little stress on this joint here, and that joint tends to pop out as you're manipulating it. And hands are the same as all of them. It's got a single pinned pointer finger, so you can still point, although he's got the bent pointer finger. But you can still do it if you want to. And the gun fits in. It's just very, very tight in the hands. Same for the other side. You do have a nice not wrist, a nice rotation at the waist. You do get full rotation. Actually, this folds up just like the other figure, or Vortex. Goes all the way back to there. Goes all the way out to the sides. So plenty of articulation there on the hips. 90-degree bend at the knee, although this is a little bit hindered by this on the back. They both are about 90 degrees. Rotation, no rotation at the knee. You do have a nice ankle pivot all the way in, and you do have a tilt. You kind of have to tilt them separately, but it does tilt, so you can get some walking poses and stuff like that. I pretty much never put these in walking poses, but all around, very, very nicely articulated. I think they did a good job figuring out how to make this guy look like the G1, but still have like good articulation and a good modern look to him. So that's really it for the robot mode. I definitely like this. I love the feet too. I love the way all the feet on these figures look. Yeah, we'll get this guy into vehicle mode and be right back. Alright guys, we're back from transforming. Before you say, wow, that's ugly, I haven't I haven't actually put this, so this separate cover, I don't understand why they designed it this way, but basically there's like a faux top there, and you can put this on, but why didn't they just keep this on there all the time? I guess, I don't know, maybe they thought you could leave it like this, but it's damn ugly, so you're going to want to put this on. And it definitely completes the look, but it's very hard to get in there because it's a tight fit. So I wish they hadn't done that. I wish they had just made the top and had a separate piece if they needed it. You know, because it's very hard to get in there. It's actually kind of a pain. It's tight, and you end up kind of having to take it apart to do it. Let's try this again. So it might be better starting in the front. There you go. That's probably never coming off, to be honest. I don't care about the Blastoff style chest. This is fine with me because that's just way too tight. But now that it's complete, I mean, great looking shuttle. Love the look of this shuttle. Absolutely meets my expectations. Now let's take a look at the G1 cartoon in the top there. I think this is a pretty good representation. Now let's get the wheels out. So these do fold up, which is nice. I guess it clicks into place a little bit. I don't know, it's not perfect, but and then this bottom one kind of just folds out from the front. You can either have it all the way forward, so it's got that tipped down look, or you can have it kind of in the middle. And I am finding it's not quite. No, not all the panels are flush, but it's good enough. And there you have the shuttle. I really think it looks good. I love the look of this. Perfect spot for a logo right there. And here you go. Here's the other vehicles. Bring those in. In terms of scale, again, this is probably a little small, but obviously the Jeep way too big. The rest of these guys, they're good enough. You know, they fit well. By the way, this had a lot of similar transformation features like this one, like fold-down panels and stuff that kind of fit together. They're totally different figures, but there was a lot of similarities between these two. And I liked the fact that the two arms are similar and the two legs are kind of similar in terms of the way they transform. But they're totally different molds and totally different looks. In terms of paint, I think there's a little bit of paint. There's this silver detail here, just some silver detail on the boosters back here and on the back of the feet, which is really meant for a robot mode, but it looks fine from the back. I think that's a really good look. These black pieces kind of just tab in and kind of lock it in place, so that looks good. I think there's paint on the front here for the cockpit. It also looks good. Yeah, so overall, I really like the look of this thing. I think they did a great job in vehicle mode. You gotta watch out for that because this kind of bends that way. But beautiful vehicle mode. I really like it. I wouldn't mind if these were a little bit longer for the shuttle, but and it does stand up on its hind two legs. You can use the. By the way, this tail just folds down like that, but so you can kind of get the tail to hold it up in a position so he's like ready for takeoff kind of thing, like that. So all in all, great figures. I think Unique Toys has really hit it out of the park with these guys. I like them all. My only complaint so far out of all of these has been the guns not fitting on these, but I'm going to fix that shortly. I'm using some nail polish to give it a little bit more grip inside of the peg holes here. But other than that, I mean, really good set. I don't have their Onslaught transformed into the vehicle mode. So let's get him into vehicle mode so we can show, you know, does this guy fit on the trailer and maybe this guy. Let's see how he fits on the trailer, if he does at all. And then we'll be done with this video and we're going to come back and do the combined mode once we're done with that. So we'll be right back. Alright guys, just to show this off, it does fit on the trailer and roll around. I don't think you can get the launching look. Maybe you can, let's see. Might be able to use this. Yeah, so you can use that as a little bit of a launching thing. It's not really on there solid, but you can do that. So really just a well done, well designed figure overall. I like the way it looks, I like the way it feels in hand. Overall it's just a really nice, I think this is still the best look for him, is with the tank on the back in vehicle mode. So I'm a big fan in vehicle mode and robot mode. Pretty much all these guys, but I definitely like this guy. The transformations are also very intuitive and very fun. There's none of them that I hate to transform that are a pain in the butt. Other than maybe Caligos, I just did him, and there's a little bit of panel stuff that it's hard to get it all together, but it's not bad at all compared to some transformers I've had, and I really enjoy transforming these guys back and forth. Originally I was thinking of selling this set once I got the whole thing, but now that I have it in hand, I definitely like it. By the way, I think these are for the fully combined mode for Ragnaros. So we're going to take a look at that when we get in full combined mode and see if we can switch these eyes out. But that's it for this guy in vehicle mode and robot mode. I think overall I definitely recommend him. I think it's a good figure. Hey guys, we're back to show the fully combined mode for Ragnaros Unique Toys version of Bruticus. So we have him kind of ready here. I'm not going to show the transformation of the legs. I showed that in my previous video. But here are the arms. They're pretty much ready to go. I haven't put the hands in yet. So the hands have two little tabs right here. Let's get down there. So the hands have two little tabs at the end right there. And those fit in basically right in between these two black pieces. There's two slots there. Maybe it's supposed to go like this. Then you close it around. Maybe? Let's see. Yep, that's definitely it. So you want the short tabs. And then the whole bot should just tab back together. So you kind of want to just get him all squeezed up all the way around. And there you have the arm with the hand. The hand has nicely painted and differently articulated and length fingers. So really well done there. And this one cleans up really nice. It's a very nice arm. So you've got the slot here that matches up. Let's get this back on camera with the little peg right there. So we're going to match those up. A lot of people have been complaining about the fact that they don't like the fact that this sticks up higher. There you go. But I don't really mind that, the fact that it sticks up to here. You can actually change that if you wanted to. You could take apart the top. I don't have any need to do that, but let's just get his hand all folded up here. And now let's get the other side going. Oh, we forgot a couple pieces here, so let's get those on. And then we'll get the hand into this guy. Now this one, I think, uses the wider pegs versus these thinner pegs on the hand. If you want to use the wide one, you almost be easier just to push it apart and then kind of squeeze it together afterwards. So don't take it all the way apart. You got to squeeze everything together. So all the pegs around this guy to get him to just sit together. It's tight for sure. There we go. And for these helicopter blades, you can kind of just fold them like this, and then it won't move, so it sort of solidifies it because it's holding on both sides. Some people might say that's ugly, but I think it's okay. You know, it's better than the alternative, which is this kind of flopping around. The other thing you can do is just sort of fold it up like this and have it just sort of, you know, lightly pegged in. That one's not as secure, but it looks a little better. So I prefer this one because it's the most secure in combined mode. So I'm going to have it like that. Okay, and then you take the peg, the hole here, which you folded down in order to transform this. I prefer these to be folded up, so I just put that like that. And this is pretty much ready to go on. So there are 2 slots here that align with 2 slots on the actual peg, and it has a locking system. So as soon as you put it on, so you have to put it on like that, and then once you rotate it, it's locked. It doesn't come off. So very, very, very secure system there. And all in all, this thing looks incredible. I love the way this looks. I know lots of people thought the combined mode was, you know, kind of weird or wasn't quite G1. I think this is way more G1 than what's the other company, Zeta Toys version. It just screams G1 Bruticus to me. I know these arms are not very accurate. You can actually mess with them and change them a little bit, but I don't have any need. It's fine. I'll just leave it the way it is. Well, it's a little front heavy, so you probably want to get him positioned properly. There you go. So looking at him as a whole, oh, he also has his weapon here, so we didn't show that off. I'm going to get as far back as I can here so you can see the figure, and we'll put an image up of the G1 Bruticus. And honestly, I think he's pretty good looking. Obviously, if they're taking some liberties to, you know, give it a little bit of style, but overall, I think he's a good figure. I think they did a good job with the paint, color scheme, style, all that stuff. Especially the head sculpt. I really think they did a good job with the head sculpt. And it's got plenty of posability. So you can take these off, and they do mount, and you can use them in a combination with the shuttle, but I just don't think it's necessary. I think it's kind of silly to use the parts forming from all of the bots to make this guy. I'd rather just use the chest that came with it. So yeah, so let's go over articulation here if we can. Sorry, I'm really trying to get a good camera angle for you guys so you can actually see. So plenty of articulation on the arm here. It's kind of got 2 joints that allow it to go up. There's one inside the shoulder and then one that's inside the shuttle or inside the limb, so you can get plenty of motion. This is on a swivel. Rotating swivel. His head has a little bit of articulation, but I think that's due to transformation. You know, this thing just kind of goes down. You can put his crest down, but I think everyone would want it up. Definitely the painted eyes look better, in my opinion. You do get an elbow bend, but it's only 90 degrees and only in one direction. It doesn't go the other direction. But when you get a combiner this big, that's kind of how it's going to be. Plenty of waist swivel there. You do have a lot of rotation on the legs, but it's very tight, so you kind of gotta work it, and it works fine. It's just you gotta put your back into it, and he holds the pose fine. You do get a bend, so there's actually 2 knees. There's one here, and it's a little bit hindered by this. Oh, actually, I think this came out. Let's get this remounted. This is one of those on the back that you don't really notice, but it does get loose sometimes. So it does bend up to there, but you also have this joint here, which is pretty loose, so I wouldn't even use that. It's not going to hold anything. So you want to use the one down there. But the hip ratchet is nice and tight. Got him kind of in this A stance here. And we did notice when we were looking at the posability, when we got the legs, it was a little tough to get the legs balanced. Oh, this fell off. This just tabs on right here. No problem. I do like this. The instructions show you flipped it over onto the hood, but I like it flipped back because it kind of covers up. It looks consistent in terms of the color, and it's flat. Got that nice flat look for the legs. Kind of like the cartoon. There you go. So, a little comparison time. Here he is with the Combiner Wars Devastator, which is the only other combiner I have that I kept because I like it a lot. And they are about the same size. So I am going to take a measurement here. I just wanted to do a little comparison. So to the top of his head, 17.5 inches. The top of his blasters, 19.75 inches. So pretty big dude. And then across from shoulder to shoulder, let's say about 9 or 10 inches, about 10 inches. And then to the top of his arm, you know, they kind of extend way past everything. It's about 20 inches to the top of the arm. So some people don't like the fact that the arms are so high up, and I can kind of understand that. You know, it's a little distracting because the original figure didn't have that. He didn't have, you know, these parts sticking out. You could manipulate these to kind of make it work, but that's a lot of work. So getting in close here, they really are, you know, pretty close in height, and they look good together. I think the two kind of look good together as combiners. You know, they've got their unique color schemes. So yeah, I definitely am a fan of this guy. Oh, I forgot to show you foot articulation. You do have ankle tilt. You have toe tilt, but not the whole foot, just the front. The back doesn't really tilt. So it's kind of, that does limit what you can do. And he tends to lean forward because he's got a lot of weight, so you sort of have to, you know, bend these hip joints backwards so that he'll stand up straight. You know. And they're nice and strong hip joints. It's just you got to balance them a little bit. But I really like the way this turned out. I was wary. I didn't even think I was going to keep this combiner, but now that I have it, definitely going to keep it. I think it's a very well done Bruticus. I don't know if the Zeta Toys one is going to be better. Their bots are definitely not better from what I've seen. You know, I had a Zeta Toys figure and the quality wasn't great. That was the Zeta Toys Jazzy. It was about as good or no better than the Toy World Jazzy. In fact, it actually had some flaws in it. So I went with this guy. I know a lot of people went with the Zeta Toys for the combined mode, but I'm fine with this guy. Let's just go freehand here for a second so I can kind of show you around this guy. And so here's his head. Here are the arms. There's my super weapon. And that's not in the instructions. I don't know if that's a real thing or not. Here's the legs and the feet. They look pretty good. Let's take a look at the back of this guy. Pretty clean back. I was surprised at how nice he cleans up. So there's his back. We got his guns here. I probably leaned him a little bit too much. Oops. Yeah, these tend to come off. This is on the bottom of the shuttle, but there you go. Pretty clean figure all around. This is a little annoying, but you can sort of make it do what you want. You know, get it tucked away, kind of like that. That's about the best I've gotten it, is that V shape. and then the fact that it's on here, it holds it together. So that's my recommendation for trying to get that to look good. And you can see I kind of have his hips sort of angled back. That's just for balance, but you can pose them any way you want. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions on this guy. If you're planning to get this guy, let me know what you think. Or if you're going to get the Zeta Toys one, what you think about that one. I'm hoping to be the first reviewer out with this fully combined mode review, plus the review for the other individual figures. So I just want to know what the fandom thinks of this. And you know, if you're planning to get it, I definitely recommend it. I think all of the figures individually are great, but also the combined mode is pretty good. It's probably not as solid as Zeta Toys, but I think it's good enough. It meets the mark for me. And that's really it. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe and like. We'll see you next time.